To spread the Kremlin's word, the SDA uses another instrument, an online network called RRN for reliable recent news. In French, les dernières informations fiables. It resembles a traditional media outlet. News alerts, articles, and videos about current events. A mix between fake news and Kremlin talking points. On the RRN network site, we discovered a man, Thierry Paul Valette, introduced as the founder of the Yellow Vests.
We have demands.
He became known during the social movement of 2019. Since then, he has been invited on television sets.
Thierry Paul Valette headed the list for the Rassemblement des Gilets Jaunes Citoyens in the 2019 European elections.
The activist becomes one of the figures of the social anger that has taken hold of part of France.
Obviously, the topic here is the French people who are really fed up, the French people who are suffering.
In December 2023, he is contacted by the disinformation site RRN, which offers him an interview.
Dear sir, I am a journalist working freelance with various media, both French and foreign. I would like to propose an interview with a correspondent from the young magazine called RRN, and who specializes in the politics and geopolitics of European countries. It is true that there is a certain presence. And the first thing I thought of when saying RRN was CNN. That's where it gets interesting. You are an influential politician with a personal and very interesting viewpoint on different aspects of French politics. We have to admit they have the knack for flattering us, for highlighting us, and we feel...
That is to say?
They give us importance. So yes, we let ourselves get caught up in it.
In the interview he gives to RRN, Thierry Paul Valette comments on President Macron's unpopularity. But the article that is later published actually deals with another subject, the confiscation of Russian assets. The video clips and quotes from the former Yellow Vest are used to feed this propaganda platform, which ends with this sentence.
The European Union will give billions of dollars to corrupt officials and Nazis.
He claims not to have read the article.
I am shocked. That sentence is everything I fight against precisely. It's everything I fight against. Never have I said or will I endorse such remarks. That really, you're telling me something I didn't know. I remain... My speech was simply twisted from its sincerity. So I call it deception and trickery.
Who are the faces of these manipulations, orchestrated by the SDA? We traced the person who conducted the interview. His name is Vadim Chaika. According to his resume, revealed by the German media T-Online, Vadim Chaika is said to be Francophile. After 2 university stays in Rouen, in Plus-Aren, he returned to Moscow, where he collaborates with French media. In this photo from 2018, he poses with a filming crew from TF. One detail caught our attention. Vadim Chaika says he was employed by a company we know well, France Télévisions. Benjamin Delombre is one of our fellow journalists. He worked with Vadim Chaika in 2022, during several weeks of reporting in Moscow. The young man was his intermediary and interpreter, what we call a fixer. In March 2024, Benjamin Delombre discovers the photo of his former colleague on the front page of the newspaper T-Online.
I am learning that Vadim Chaika is supposedly one of the faces of Russian disinformation in Europe. I am learning that his role is to conduct interviews with experts and twist their content to serve Russian propaganda. And there, it is certainly a surprise.
Did you ever have doubts about his closeness to the Russian authorities?
Absolutely not. For me, Vadim is someone who is very detached, so I really didn't suspect someone like that. Vadim is someone who has a somewhat romantic, slightly quirky side. He is someone who seems very nice at first glance, and you think, hey, I want to grab a drink with him. I think, did he play a double game while we were working together? That's a question I ask myself, so I decide to call him.
He records their conversation.
I'm calling you because I know you've seen the articles that came out about you these past few days.
Yeah, but it's horrible. It's nonsense.
Because in the article, it is stated that you were involved in a disinformation campaign against European media. No. Were you ever asked to create fake articles for European newspapers? Because we know that...
Never. He denies it until the end.
Hello. Thank you very much.
Journalists from the German media outlet T-Online also tried to question the former fixer. At the beginning of 2024, our colleagues are going to take advantage of a video conference interview that this German researcher is giving to Vadim Chaika, who is on screen. The exchange is filmed by a journalist from T-Online. He speaks at the end of the interview.
Hello, if I may. My name is Lars. I am with German media T-Online. Hello. Do you work as a journalist?
Vadim Chaika cuts the conversation short. We also contacted him. He never replied to us. According to France Télévisions, the former fixer had no editorial influence on the work of its journalists. He has not worked for the editorial office for 2 years. In your opinion, how can Vadim Chaika be useful or valuable for Russian propaganda?
That is to say, it's a sort of gray area for me. That is to say, maybe Vadim Chaika, I think he has an interest for the Russian authorities because he speaks French quite well, he knows the French press, and as a result, he is very useful. So as a result, in this hybrid war that the Kremlin is waging today against the West, he is a link in a chain that serves to weaken us.
In this war, the television channel Russia Today is another echo chamber for propaganda narratives. The former Gilet jaune Thierry Paul Valette has often been invited by this state media. Today, banned by the authorities in Europe.
France is going through an unprecedented political crisis under the Fifth Republic. And that's because of one man, Emmanuel Macron. He's the Sun King. He is free to do as he pleases. He's a little dictator.
He accepts all media invitations, regardless of whether these state channels are hostile towards France.
Which Russian media outlets did you work with?
There was RT, there was CBC TV. There you go, it's the Azerbaijani channel CBC TV.
Why did they contact you?
Because they have contacted me since the Yellow Vests. They have always contacted me. There is even Iran. Again, I went to Iran 3 times, 3 months ago.
State media?
Yes, I'm going to come across as a sellout. It's terrible. That's it.
So, you speak to Iranian, Azerbaijani, and Russian state media. Why?
Why? I was in traditional French media, and then afterwards, I was sidelined. And finally, what's important is also the spreading of ideas. Since we are no longer given the floor, if we can have it somewhere, I want to say so much the better.